Hi, let's talk about getting rid of your diabetes. Okay, now I'm talking exclusively about type 2 diabetes, so if you have any other type of diabetes, what I'm going to say may not apply to you, okay? So the short answer is, it's entirely possible to get rid of diabetes. There's research saying that roughly 90% of all type 2 diabetics can reverse the diabetes with the right diet and lifestyle changes. I personally think that this is higher. The only problem here is that the information is not out, and obviously with compliance, some people don't want to do certain things. They don't think it's worth it, or they don't believe in it. And if you don't want to do the work, then obviously you're not going to be able to reverse your diabetes. So the biggest problem as I see it is that diabetics aren't told about this. Instead, they often put on medications sometimes straight away, and these can make things a lot worse. And if they're lucky, they get to speak to a dietitian or a diabetic educator. Unfortunately, dietitians are most of the time restricted in what type of advice they are allowed to give the patients. And they are required, most of the time, to stick to the dietary guidelines, even though this is highly inappropriate for type 2 diabetics. Their personal opinion, the science, none of that matters because they are working for someone who is obliged to pass on this message. So rather than helping you getting rid of your diabetes, they try to help you manage it as best as you can under the circumstances. And many diabetics are, sadly enough, being told that their condition is chronic and progressive when it isn't true. So you might go and get a diabetes diagnosis and be told that you're going to live with this for the rest of your life. Many diabetics are severely depressed because they feel powerless. But I want to tell you that there is hope, and you have the power to change your condition if you want to. So you can do something about it. To get rid of your diabetes, you need to make sure that your insulin levels are being kept very low for most of the time. And the easiest way to do this is to make sure that your blood sugars are kept low. Because when the blood sugars are low, when you don't eat a lot of carbohydrates, there's no need for insulin, or less need for insulin, I should say. So you cannot do this with the help of medications. If you're currently on medications, don't go off of your medications all of a sudden. Stay on these for now and work with your doctor to slowly get off of these meds as your blood sugar kind of improves when you start going on a low-carb diet. So the absolute best and most sustainable and the safest way of doing this is by cutting out the carbs. So that is going to allow your body to use up whatever carbs you have stored. You can start using the stored fats that is in your organs, because when we look at risk factors, when we're telling like, yeah, you're at risk for diabetes, what they're looking at, one of the things that they're looking at is how much fat you have stored around your internal organs. So when you can start getting rid of this fat, you can start reversing your diabetes as well. Or if you don't have it yet, you will reduce your risk of ever getting it. So start with just cutting out all the sugars, including fruit sugar, all the grains, so bread, pasta, rice, potatoes, corn, whatever, and then work your way up from there. And that's quite easy to start with. So if you need a bit more help or more suggestions with what to eat, you can just join our Facebook group, and we'll do our very best to help you. There are some resources in there that might help you as well, and you can ask us questions and we'll get back to you personally. You can also subscribe to this channel, give this video a thumbs up and a like, and share it with all your friends who are diabetic and actually could use this to reverse their diabetes.